Zombie Survival Tactics Part 1. Gaining familiarity with the zombie menace and how zombies behave is critical for survival during a zombie epidemic. One of the biggest causes of human victimization via zombie attack is unfamiliarity with the threat faced. Unfamiliarity can either create panic, or a person treating their first zombie encounter like an encounter with a human being. Reacting to a zombie like it is a human being will lead to mistakes being made, and a high probability of death. I will be using a cutscene from the Resident Evil remake as an example of how a person panicking can cause their own death, even in a situation they could have easily escaped from. The cutscene shows the death of Kenneth Sullivan, a member of the STARS Bravo team. Kenneth was in a dark corridor of the Spencer mansion when he got attacked. The zombie that attacked Kenneth was a particularly disgusting looking specimen, as it was very highly decayed. The more decayed and rotten a zombie is, the more likely a person having their first undead encounter is to panic. As the more decayed a zombie is, the more unnatural it looks, and the more likely a person is to lose control, due to fear. Kenneth was alone in a dark part of the mansion, and approached by the creature suddenly. This would cause anyone who lacks any experience with zombie encounters to panic. The most dangerous encounter with a zombie is the first encounter. Being unfamiliar with the threat he faced, Kenneth panicked and fired off shots randomly. If Kenneth had stayed calm, he could have either shot at the zombie's head, killing it, or he could have barged past the zombie and escaped. One of the main reasons why zombie outbreaks spread so quickly is due to people's ignorance of zombies. Kenneth panicked and fell over, and called for the zombie to stop. Verbal communication with a zombie is of course a complete waste of time, as threats or pleas have no effect on the undead. It seems Kenneth froze up and fell on the floor once the zombie got to him. It is highly doubtful that a single zombie would have been strong enough to overpower Kenneth if he had remained calm. Even while the zombie was on top of him, Kenneth might have had a chance to push a zombie away. Kenneth was an experienced Special Forces officer, who was highly trained, but he of course had no training to deal with the undead, so therefore he was completely unprepared, and died a horrible death. He reacted to the zombie like it was a human being. He shot at the zombie's body instead of its head. He pleaded with the zombie to leave him alone. An educated human is a human far more likely to survive their first zombie encounter. During the early stages of a zombie outbreak, any experienced survivor should educate anyone who is inexperienced. People need to know what they are dealing with. They have to learn they are not dealing with insane human beings, but the undead. Panic can lead to the flight or fight reflex kicking in. Flight is better than blindly lashing out, as kicks and punches are useless against the undead. Blindly fleeing without thinking can be dangerous too though, as the person fleeing might run into even more danger. People make mistakes while they panic. Another big killer of humans during a zombie epidemic is ignorance. The next clip I will use is an example of ignorance leading to death.
He'll hear you.
Here he comes now. I'm getting out of here.
Johnny. Oh! No! No! Johnny! Help
Johnny reacted to the zombie like it was a crazed or drunk human. He grabbed the zombie and tried to restrain it. Of course there was no way for Johnny to know what he was dealing with, so he can't really be faulted. If Johnny understood the nature of the threat, he could have tried picking up a rock and destroying the brain of the zombie. Even if a person doesn't panic, they can still deal with a zombie attack incorrectly due to their ignorance. Even while under attack, a lot of humans will instinctively try to restrain their attacker. Also, not knowing the nature of what they are dealing with, any humans under attack will not be ruthless enough, due to the fact most people avoid killing their attackers, to avoid legal trouble. It must be emphasized strongly that anyone under attack can't deal with a zombie attack, like they are dealing with humans. Trying to intimidate any zombies you encounter is useless. Many people make the mistake of screaming and shouting threats to the zombies to ward them off. The only way to really deal with zombies is to either destroy them completely, or avoid them completely. There can be no half measures. The early stages of a zombie epidemic are the most dangerous. Be prepared. And be educated, as it is the unknown that kills. My next video will be on survival tactics during the early stages of a zombie outbreak. I will be using more clips from Night of the Living Dead.